Hi, grade 4 students. What's up? Welcome to the science lecture video number 2 of semester 3, and we're talking about invertebrates. In the last lecture video, we talked about insects, their body segments, and about ants colonies. Here are different examples of insects. Beetles, flies, bees, dragonflies, butterflies are all examples of insects. And as you know, all insects share common body features. An insect body is divided into three sections: a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. Insects have 6 legs connected to their thorax. They have 3 legs on each side of their bodies. On the insect's head, you will see 2 antennae that help the insect to smell and to find food. Insects are invertebrates, but they have a hard covering called exoskeleton protecting their bodies. Insects have a special kind of eyes called compound eyes. Let's play this game to label the parts of this insect. I'll start with the leg. Insects have 6 legs. This insect has a wing. It has compound eyes and 2 antennae on its head. This is the thorax of the insect, and this is its abdomen. The insect's body has 3 sections: head, thorax, and abdomen. Let me check my answers. Okay, all of our answers are correct. What else? Insects shed their exoskeleton. We say that insects molt. The exoskeleton of an insect doesn't allow the growth of the animal. So insects molt many times during their life cycle. Since the exoskeleton is small now and they cannot grow anymore, they lose the old one and they grow a new one. Insects are oviparous. An adult insect lays eggs on the plant's leaves. A larva hatches out of the egg and grows into a pupa. The pupa will grow into an adult, and here are the 4 stages of life of an insect. Ants are insects. Why? An ant's body is divided into a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. Ants have 6 legs attached to their thorax. They also have 2 antennae on their heads. Ants have compound eyes also. How do ants breathe? They use holes on the sides of their bodies to breathe. And don't forget that ants have 2 stomachs, one for them to eat and a second one to gather food for the colony. Yes, ants live in colonies. They are social insects. In an ant colony, look at this. Here is an ant colony, very organized, different rooms. Each room has a role in the ants colony. One is as a nursery room, another one to store food. Look at this. Most ants colonies have one queen. The queen ant is the largest ant in the colony. It's a female ant that has wings and that spends its whole life laying eggs. The queen mates with a male. It flies to a place to start building its nest. It loses its wings and starts laying eggs. In an ant colony, you will see the drones, which are the male ants that have wings and that have no job but mating with a queen. You know that after mating with a queen, the drone dies. The worker ants are female ants that care for the colony. These ants do not lay eggs and do not have wings. Their job is to keep the colony healthy and clean. They enlarge the colony by building new rooms. They care for the queen. They care for the eggs. They care for the larvae. They care for the pupa. They gather food. They defend the colony. So, in an ant colony, you will find three types of ants: the queen ant, the drone, and the worker ant. Like ants, honeybees are social insects. They live in hives or colonies, and a small hive contains about 20,000 bees. Hives include one queen. The queen is a female bee. It is the largest bee in the nest, and it spends its whole life laying eggs. The male bees, or the drones, are male. They have no stingers. Look at this stinger. It is the pointed portion of the insect. So the drones have no stingers, and their job is to mate with the queen. The worker bees are female bees. They build the honeycomb, they take care of the baby bees, they gather the nectar from the flowers to make honey. And so the workers are the bees that care, and their job is to keep the beehive clean and healthy. A beehive is made of cells called a honeycomb. Bees use the upper part of the honeycomb to store pollen and honey, and they use the lower part to nurse the eggs, the larvae, and the pupa. As you can see right here, here is a worker bee. One of its job is to gather, to collect pollen and nectar, and to turn them into honey. Let's together use this slide to recap. In a honeybee colony, you will see one queen. It is the largest queen bee, and it is the largest bee in the colony. Its job is to lay eggs. It mates with a drone. The drones are the male bees that mate with a queen. The worker bees are the ones that care for the beehives and keep them healthy and clean. They also gather pollen and nectar to make honey. Honey is so important for people since it is rich in vitamin E. It helps our bodies to repair dead tissues, and it helps in new cells growth. Honeybees also provide us with beeswax, which is used daily in our life to make cosmetics, to make lipsticks, to make crayons, to make candles. So honeybees are so important for people because they provide them with honey, with beeswax, and they also very helpful for plants. Bees are social insects, so they communicate with each other. How do they communicate? They use special dances to tell other bees where food is.
Welcome to my treehouse. I'm very excited about this. Take a look at what I've got here. This is part of a beehive. A hive is where bees live and bring up their babies. People often talk about busy bees, and look, they really are busy. Can you see the empty holes the bees have made? They're called cells. The bees fill them with nectar to make honey. These cells are full of honey, and the bees put white wax over the top to close them up. And look at this bee down here. She is passing over the nectar she has collected to another bee. Can you see her tongue? Bees live in big groups where every bee has its own job, and each hive has one queen, which is the biggest bee. Here she is. The beekeeper has marked her with a yellow spot. It's the queen's job to lay eggs, which will grow up into more honeybees. The eggs hatch into larvae. Look, here they are. And they are looked after and fed by nurse bees. Can you see how some of the cells have lids on? Inside, the larvae are changing into worker bees, and the nurse bees look after them until they hatch. Every bee has a job, and it's amazing to see them all at work, isn't it? The bees you'll normally see will be the worker bees flying from flower to flower, collecting nectar and pollen. There's sure to be a busy bee visiting flowers near you.
What do we know now about bees? What are the different kinds of bees that inhabit a beehive? In a beehive, you will see a queen, a worker bee, and a male bee or a drone. What's the job each kind of bees plays in the colony? The queen's job is to lay eggs. The worker's job is to care for the colony. Workers collect food, they care for the larvae, they guard the hive, they clean it, they care for the eggs, they care for the queen, they turn pollen and nectar into honey. Then drone's job is to mate with the queen. How do bees communicate? Bees dance. They use special dances to communicate with each other and to tell the other bees where food is. Why are bees considered as beneficial? Because they provide us with honey, with beeswax, and they also pollinate plants. And that's it. We're done. If you still have any questions, please contact me. Bye bye.